Georgia State University. He helped us get this started. He does all the work, guys. I get the credit. And my friend Tim has always been a researcher. My friend Ed. I want to also recognize Mr. Alva Hall. Wave your hand, Alva. That was my dad's best friend. He's been my mentor, and I've been knowing him since I was like knee high. But so the attitude I have, I got from him. But no, thank you guys so much. And you know, we really want to create a movement, not just a talk movement. If you know me, I'm about action. Talk is so cheap. We get a lot of speech and a lot of promises from politicians and even economists, but it's time for action and to make a difference in the world. So that's why I want to present a person that's our first speaker at our first networking event. This guy is a friend of mine named Ivan Alpha. The I is for he's ingenuous, he's investigative, he's an investor, but most of all, he's also, the V is for he's victorious. He's a conqueror, he gets things done, he's successful, he's accomplishing things. But the A, he's awesome. But he also is a person of action. He gets things done. He does what he says. And these are all great attributes of successful business people and people that produce wealth and empower others. But most of all, he's a networker. He is a people person. I tell you, the secret to success in business, it's about, you know, in real estate, they say location, location, location. It's relationship, relationship, relationship. And Ivan is the king of relationships. You cannot meet him and be lonely or not be happy. He's a guy, he's a networker, he's successful, he's an entrepreneur, he's a philanthropist, he's an excellent Toastmaster, a great speaker, but most of all, I'm proud to say he's a personal friend. So guys, round of applause for Mr. Ivan Alpha.
That was so awesome. Thanks for that awesome hand claps. I actually want to high five every one of you. Let's keep this connection going. Yes, 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 yes. I'm going to try to get as efficient as I can here. You just run around. Now go, go, go. Yes, yes, and yes, 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 and yes, yes. There you go. Ooh, got some good cardio. So, who is this sexy Latin man in front of you?
Oh boy.
You may not know me personally like Kevin, so I'll just quickly break down who I am and what brought me here today. I want to hopefully get you to, leave your job, leave that awful relationship, leave that awful cage that you're in. You get emotional, physical, spiritual, whatever it is. I want to help you get there because I've been there. I left my job over 2 years ago, and it was a hard time, the first year especially. And I started at McDonald's in my early 20s. I worked through corporate America, just progressively, just doing what everybody says you should do in American culture. And I realized at one point, luckily early on, around 27, that, hey, I can't just keep pushing this off, pushing my dreams off, pushing the relationships off, because it's really what I love to do. Not being behind a keyboard, just kind of hoping for the best, that this will eventually bring me happiness. So, based on all that, just to give you what we're going to cover today, there's going to be specifically 3 things. There's people power, there's other people's money or resources, and winning. So, that actually abbreviates POW! Pow, 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 pow! Pow! Isn't that clever? You like that? But where do you see POW? In the comic books you grew up with, right? Could you raise your hand? Like, if you've actually seen that word POW in the little bubbles? Okay, cool. So we're on the same page here. So we're going to start off with, what is your superpower? Talking about comic books. And what is your super weapon? For me, it's this guy. Are you guys ready? It's going to get kind of weird. Just a little bit weird. Are you ready? Just give me a yes. Sorry, Ed. You've been cut out of my life. You've been cut in. Sorry, that may have hurt a little bit too. But this is how we do people power. We cut people out, we cut people in. This is how I do it with my super weapon. I have a flaming sword. For you might be something else, like, a chair. You just throw it at people, get out of my way. But it's different for each one of us. But people power can be interpreted in different ways. There's the business, there's the personal, and the spiritual side of it all. And how you apply your weapon upon those is how you'll be able to leave your job or leave whatever else you want to in your life that's unhealthy for you. And it's attacking your heart. And with people power, you could achieve anything you want. You'll be able to bring people to help you, but also help others. So people power. The business side. It was so easy for me to avoid my dreams. Procrastination. And that's what kills business. If you procrastinate like I did for 3 years on leaving my job, you're not going to be successful in business. You really got to address that as soon as you can. If you have a checklist, it's overwhelming to you, break it down into smaller steps, smaller pieces. Right? That's how things don't get done. If you have this massive, hey, I want to become a trillionaire tomorrow. It's not realistic. You got to break it down. And when you are talking also about business, like Kevin said, relationship is everything. If you are going to once a month networking events, you're hurting yourself. I actually came across my business partner in a very kind of roundabout way, but it was a result of networking. And even leading up to him, my rental properties, becoming a multifamily 60-unit owner was the result of networking. So that's the business side of the people power. You really gotta be intentional about your moves and don't, hold to your word. I'll tell it to you this way. It progressively got from $5,000 to $50,000 to $500,000 conversations about investments with me because I held to my word about what I was gonna do. Now, it may not have always resulted in amazing returns for every single flip, every single rental property, but I held on to my word and I said what I was going to say I was going to do. So hold to that. Even if it's a small step you're taking, hold to it. So that grounding in your business also needs to be applied to your personal side. So it's going to sound weird, but we don't celebrate loneliness here in American culture. But it's actually what's going to attract business, relationships, amazing things to your life. And I found this out in a very weird way because I'll be vulnerable. For most of my 20s, I couldn't stand to be with myself. I would be relationship to relationship, just dependency upon dependency. And I would feel something was wrong if I wasn't in a relationship. So one day, broke up with my girlfriend at the time, but we already had booked a trip to Miami. So I paid for it. We're broken up now. Might as well just keep doing. Just go. Just make it happen. Let's see what happens. It's kind of scary going alone, but let's try this out. And it was the most amazing time because I got to be grounded in myself and who I was for several days. I would get up, do what I wanted to do, go jogging, exercise. I would make friends randomly down the street. We actually saw the 4th of July together on the shoreline. I did activities. I was so grounded in who I was and having fun with total strangers that I didn't even notice when a woman was hitting on me. Like seriously. I was at a restaurant enjoying my steak, and this girl, she would constantly stand up out of her group of friends and kind of do one of these guys. Hey. Like 5 times. And I didn't even notice. I was just like, hi. I'm just going to keep enjoying my steak. And so that's the type of personal grounding you have to have that gravity around you. It's just people, when they get near you, they just they can't get away from you. Because you're so grounded in who you are and who you inspire them to be a greater version of themselves. Now, the last part to this, we covered the business, the personal. Now it's the time for the spiritual side. And just make it a little uneasy, but I'm not going to be, trying to convert you into my religion or anything like that. I don't have any Kool-Aid laying around. But seriously, what I noticed in my first year after leaving my job was that I was accountable to a man that inspired me, like Tony Robbins or Kyle Cease. But accountability to man only goes so far. Accountability to God takes you way, way far. Just imagine the distance, right? Like even if you think about the universe, it's just constantly expanding, millions, trillions, billions of miles away. If you're accountable to something so massive, God, you're now operating on a different playing field than man. Your bar has been set anew. So I always advise, even though it may be uncomfortable, to, hey, check out this guy named God. In however way you wish, I'm not trying to force you into my way. Just check it out. So that's really the key principles of people power. The business side, the personal, and the spiritual. And the accountability of it all. To wrap up on that section, and we have a couple activities throughout the time together we have, the 3 sections. Just keep on not procrastinating. Like, just address that situation in life, even in relationships. People don't want somebody that doesn't fulfill their word or offsets it as long as they can. Like, yeah, throw the trash out next week, next year. Like, that's not cool, homie. So now we're gonna actually go back into our worksheet.